So friends, I am in Memphis heading to film something, and it says the Hamp Line, and I want you to look at all those bicycles that are up there. That's actual bicycles painted different colors welded on top of that. That's Overton Park. That's where the shell is, where Elvis played his first paid concert. But that is the Overton Park bike gate right there. That's on East Parkway North. There it is right there, friends. So friends, I'm going to take you to a place that I think is a very interesting place, a very a big part of Elvis history that you've probably never even heard of. And there's even somebody else very famous that you have heard of that's involved in this. And I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. It's this little place right here on the left. It is a cleaners. It says right there, University Cleaners. And in that little cleaners right there, Scotty Moore's brother owned that shop. And Scotty worked here as a hatter, believe it or not. He created hats and worked with hats when he wasn't playing music. And after Scotty and Elvis and Bill got together and decided to create a band, they would practice upstairs right up here. And there's another little part of the story that I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to try to see if I can go in here and talk to this guy and see if he'll let me film and if he'll tell me any stories. Stay tuned, friends. So I wanted to preface this whole thing by talking about who Scotty Moore is. The guy on the left is Scotty Moore. The guy in the middle is Elvis Presley. The guy on the right is Bill Black. Scotty was a guitar player that worked for Sam Phillips. He was also an engineer, so he actually engineered a lot of songs that you may be familiar with. If you remember the song by Red Sovine, Teddy Bear, he was the engineer on that, and a lot of other stuff. That's just one I can think of off the top of my head. And Scotty and I were in business together, and so when I would go see him, I'd sit down in front of him to sign autographs. He would tell me stories. I'd always ask him, tell me something else that happened, and he told me the story about this dry cleaner that his brother owned. So that's why I came here. And he also told me some interesting stories about a young girl that her mother worked here, and she would come after school and listen to him play out back. And I will tell that story a little later in this video, so stay tuned, friends. Scotty actually passed away just a little over a year ago. This is August of 2017, so he passed away in 2016. And he lived to be a ripe old age. Bill Black, on the other side, on the right, the bass player, died in 1965, and he had brain cancer. And so that's very unfortunate, but he was the guy that he liked to play the double bass, you know, the big stand-up bass. It looks like a giant violin, and he would stand on it and do all kinds of stuff with it. So they would put on quite a show. And when they first got together, this is where they practiced, upstairs at Scotty's work. And so I will take you through the rest of this story. And I'm going to be doing future videos about Scotty and Elvis and Bill in other places and their graves and things like that, and even trying to interview some family members. The reason I'm putting this out now is if you're going to Elvis Week, which is next week, I'm putting this out the week before Elvis Week 2017, I want you to go to this restaurant and patronize it, to pay this fine young fella back for allowing me to go up here in video. And where the restaurant was where part of the dry cleaners was. So the history that I'm going to tell you about, a lot of it happened where this restaurant is, inside of the restaurant part. So let's go on with the rest of the story. Stay tuned, friends. And this is Scotty and I at his house, and you can see the Sun record on the wall and the gold record on the wall. And Scotty was a very interesting guy. He kept everything, friends. He had the sheet music from Love Me Tender when he played on that soundtrack in 1956. He had just all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to tell you stories, not in this particular video, but in the future I'll be putting out some Scotty Moore stuff, and I'll tell you stories that he shared with me that I've never read anywhere, and just things that he told me that I thought were interesting. And I actually went back after he passed away and shot at his house and told some of the stories that he told me standing at his house, so I will share those in the future. But for now, we're going to focus on this dry cleaner that belonged to Scotty's brother. Stay tuned. So friends, I'm going to take you upstairs where Elvis and Scotty and Bill used to practice. Now, it doesn't look anything now like it did then, but this young man at this restaurant right here is going to help me. His name is Adam Phillips. He's the manager. So Cafe Electric, make sure that when you come here, you come in here and eat. This has got to be one of your stops.
I have no hard feelings right now.
So friends, when he told me it was okay for me to bring my camera, I was so excited. When I read the name of the business, I just glanced at it and thought it said electric. It's actually eclectic. So it's Cafe Eclectic, and I'll give you the address at the end of the video. So something else I saw in the video is this staircase. To the right of the staircase was open at that time.
Are you serious?
So that wall.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on this side of the staircase, that brick wall right there wasn't there.
Wow.
So, friends, I'm going to show you a screenshot of Scotty going up the stairs in the video, and you'll notice no brick wall on the right. So, friends, when this brick wall was not here, this is something that's been added. It was open on this side. I'm going to turn the light on. So there's a video of Scotty saying, you see with that window to his back, saying that we used to practice right over there. So I'm going to see if I can figure out where this window is. The thing's got 16 panes in it. Isn't it interesting that all these clothes are still up here? That's old school right there, friends. Aha, there's the window. So it may be on the other side of the window. So let's go to the other side. I don't see this post in the picture. So there it is. That's the wall. Scotty is standing right here, and he's saying, we used to practice right over there. He's actually pointing right here. He's saying, we used to practice right here. So this is the spot right here where Scotty Moore, Elvis, Bill Black practiced the Blue Moon Boys. Right here. Because he's standing here, like me. You see this? And he's pointing that way. So he's saying we used to practice right here. So there's your answer, friends. I'm gonna buy that right there, friends. Because he's saying that this right here was where they did the hatting and the fur stuff was up here. Old school. This thing has even been tagged. So this was the room, friends. And you can see that the ceiling stuff is starting to fall in. In fact, they had to do something to the roof up there. But that definitely is the window that Scotty is standing in front of, no question. Saying that they practiced right over there. So this installation, friends, had the sounds of Elvis, Bill, and Scotty in it. And where that's at up here is if you come straight up the steps, and you turn, you walk into this room, right here. Can you imagine?
So Scotty got out of the Navy in 1952 and worked here for his brother, and they got together in July of 1954. So can you imagine how hot it was up here? And this is where they practiced at, friends, right up there. And Scotty, not long after that, got to retire from the hat business and became a rock and roller. Scotty is, in fact, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and should be.
So friends, when you come to town, make sure you come here to Cafe Electric, and I'll give you the address. Adam Phillips is the manager. That's the guy that allowed us to go and take a tour upstairs. He made the phone call for me and made it happen. But at that time, Scotty's brother, this whole thing was a dry cleaners. It wasn't just this little end piece down here. So the door that they would have gone through to go upstairs, and you see this is 613. There's the dry cleaners. The way it is now, that's the dry cleaners. But the door we went through is right there, and that's the staircase. You can see it right through there. We're gonna walk around the building and look. This is the alleyway. And where we're at is on North McLean, M-C-L-E-A-N, which is ironic because it's the cleaners. But that's where we were, right up in there. So the staircase went right on this side, just past that. And it went up to the top, and where we were at is up there. So I'm gonna fly the glory, friends. We were right up in there. So now, friends, you know the rest of the story. So back in the day,
there was a lady that worked for Scotty's brother in the office, and her daughter, which was 13 years old at the time, would come and hang out at the cleaners, and they would push her around in the clothes basket carts. And her name was Wynette Pugh, later to be known as Tammy Wynette. And she would go up and listen to them practice up top as well. That's right.
you heard me, Tammy Wynette, friends. Her mama worked here for Scotty, or for Scotty's brother and the family. Right here. This is where it happened at. Right there, friends.
So, friends, as I mentioned, Scotty Moore's brother owned this. His name was Scotty Moore. His wife's name was Uzella. And the story goes that they would push young Wynette Pugh around in those laundry carts, including Scotty, just for fun, just goofing off. And one day they were up there practicing, and when they came down, Wynette was there along with Uzella. And Uzella looked up and said, my, look at the stars. And, of course, Elvis was not famous at the time, and he looked at her with that little smile of his, and he said, Uzella, one of these days I'll wrap you up in $100 bills. And, of course, you know the rest of the story. He became the king of rock and roll, and Tammy Wynette grew up to be the first lady of country music, and she witnessed that. She actually tells that story, that's what happened there. And so I just think it's interesting that her musical roots started probably here, watching Scotty play and these guys. So, friends, I've been dying to tell this story ever since Scotty told it to me, which has been, heck, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I am so fortunate to be able to get upstairs here. The young man, Adam, at this restaurant was very nice. So make sure you go by and visit them. I'll give you that information in a moment. Also, go watch this video on YouTube. Scotty Moore revisits University Park Cleaners in Memphis. It's only 60 seconds. And the cameraman didn't do a great job because Scotty's pointing, and he never turns the camera to show where he points to. So I did that for you. And this right here is the address. It's 603 North McLean Boulevard. That's Midtown in Memphis, and you can see their hours right here. They have great ratings and it looked like a great restaurant. Definitely go there and eat. I will be eating there this next week on Elvis Week. But no matter when you're watching this video, if you happen to go to Memphis, stop in there and give Cafe Eclectic a visit, eat some food. Tell Adam that the spa guy sent you, and let him know that you enjoyed the video and appreciate what they did, letting us all take a look. Because I've been wanting to see that for as far back as I can remember, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and tighten up every chance you get. See some of you at Elvis Week. If you see me, the spa guy with the spa guy shirt on or whatever, you come up and say hello. Thank you so much.